Welcome back to the madhouse. For anybody who knows what these are the Devil's Advocate, the most recent Devil's Advocate playing cards. If you picked some of these up when they were available earlier this year, then mad respect. Look at you. If you missed out, if you didn't get any of these, then don't worry. Got a surprise for you. Got a surprise, Charlie. Charlie, please move. Charlie, it's not my fault that you were late to the sausage party. What is that horrible noise outside? Hi, I'm Daniel Madison, welcome back and thanks for being here. Early this year I released this. This is the Devil's Advocate, the updated Devil's Advocate box set. Inside here, normal deck of playing cards, the Cherry Advocates I called them, and alongside that, the Devil's Advocate deck, which is a deck full of King of Diamonds. The difference is every single King of Diamonds has a different playing card in his palm, hidden in his palm, so you can't see it when you first look. Upon inspection, you will discover a playing card. There's a video that I put out with this called Self-Deception where I showed myself a trick with this just to demonstrate and just to perform, just to show you how the trick works and what you can do with it. This box set sold out almost instantly, and by popular demand, I've brought these back, but there's a huge difference. So I'm not releasing these as a box set this time. I'm not putting them in this box. Instead, I'm releasing 3 decks of playing cards as one package, and these are the 3 decks that you're gonna get when you pick these up. 2 of the index, so you're gonna receive 2 of the King of Diamonds decks and 1 of the performance decks. Now the reason I've decided to do it this way, 2 index and 1 deck of playing cards, the index is the most important thing. Whenever I'm performing this and whenever I'm using it, I don't carry the normal deck. I don't use the standard deck. I use only the index, the King of Diamonds deck. So this will always be set up as the index in my pocket. And my main go-to trick that I would do for my participant is this. With the Devil's Advocate, with the pocket index, I love it when somebody comes along and says, "Oh, Madison, can you show me a trick?" Because it feeds me, it sets me up for the line. "Oh, I can't, I'm sorry, I don't have any playing cards on me." Actually, hold on. Do you know what? I've got 1 playing card in my pocket, my favorite playing card. Let me try something with it. So now I'm going to reach into my pocket and I'm going to take out 1 playing card. I'm going to say, I'm not going to show you this playing card, but I want you to try and guess what it is. So I put it down. I don't touch it now. I leave it with them. I invite Susan Sausage. Susan, please name out loud any playing card. Let's say, for example, she names the King of Diamonds. Then we have a mother swear word miracle on our hands, Charlie, do we not? That's correct. If Susan Sausage names the Queen of Hearts, I can say, you know, at any point were you thinking of the King of Diamonds? She's gonna say, hell no, I hate that card. So I invite her to turn over the playing card where she finds the King of Diamonds, and she says again, I hate that card. And I say, don't worry, it didn't go wrong. Everything has gone according to plan. You see, the King of Diamonds resembles me. It's got my boat race on it. Have a look. More importantly, the King of Diamonds always has a playing card in his palm. Susan looks at the playing card in the King of Diamonds' palm to see the very playing card that she named. I then hold my hand up like this and say, look, the King of Diamonds is me. It represents me. And I also have a playing card palmed in my hand. And then I turn this over to reveal her very freely named playing card, the Queen of Hearts. And that's just one of the tricks that you can do with this. And of course, it doesn't matter which playing card they name. They can name the 3 of Hearts, 4 of Clubs, Queen of Clubs, 9 of Clubs. They can name any playing card. And when they turn that King of Diamonds over, the playing card that is in his palm, it's gonna be the card that they named. So arguably, Charlie, the index deck, the King of Diamonds deck, is the most important part of this whole trick. That's why I think it's important for you as a performer, as a practitioner of deceptive arts, that you have to index, because when this deck is created into an index, which by the way takes about 20 seconds, it's going to live in your pocket. No one's ever going to see it. They're going to only see the end result. With that deck of cards being in your pocket the whole time, eventually it wears out, so I don't want you to have to come back and buy another one just for that. That's why I'm giving you 2. Also, with this whole thing, you get the training video. These are on my website right now, so this is the very product. This is the Devil's Advocate Blood Edition, 3 decks available right now on my website, and there are only 200, Charlie, or 150. I think there's 200, but when they're gone, it's just going to be marked as sold out. So if you want to avoid disappointment, if you missed out on these on the first time, don't worry, head over to the website right now where you can pick some of these up, and these are ready for immediate shipping. Charlie, you're right. I don't want this to be just a sales pitch, so let's put these playing cards aside and I'm going to teach you something very quickly. The Advocate Index, the Devil's Advocate Index, is a full deck of King of Diamonds, even though there's a different playing card on each palm on the King of Diamonds hands. So basically it is a full deck of playing cards. This can be used obviously as a one-way deck. If you mix the one-way deck in with something that I taught last year called Perfect Aces, then you have one hell of a killer ending. So let's get straight into it. This is the perfect one. So I'm going to take my one-way deck, and in this deck does come with a Queen of Hearts for the ultimate effect, for the ideal effect. There's a Queen of Hearts in there. I'm going to lose this. Now I'm going to take all of the aces out of the standard deck, the standard Blood Advocate deck, and I'm going to put all of the aces on top of this deck. So what we have here is a deck full of King of Diamonds with 4 aces on top. There's a link to Perfect Aces in this video description. Basically, and I apologize for this, if you don't know how to bottom deal, you might struggle with this. You need to get good at bottom dealing. I don't teach the bottom deal on YouTube anyway, but I do teach it in my masterclass video, in my masterclass series, in an over 5-hour video. It's an incredibly long video, but it's incredibly precise, and it teaches you from the ground up everything you need to know to master the bottom deal. So this relies on the bottom deal. So the point of this is to direct the participant's attention away from the deception. So what would be the deceptive moment for, let's say, a magician, we're going to flip that around, we're going to switch it around. So the deceptive moments are all happening in the moments that are least suspected, and at the points where your audience will most suspect deception, you are actually executing fair deals, and it looks like this. So I'm going to do consecutive bottom deals from the bottom of the deck until my participant calls stop, and I'm going to invite Susan to call stop 4 times whilst I'm dealing. So it looks like this: consecutive bottom deals, and then she calls stop. At this point, a suspecting audience would think that the deceptive moment's about to happen here, but this is the most fair moment because I can now take that card very fairly and put it here. So I've just dealt a load of kings and now I've dealt an ace, right? You can see where this is going. So once again, consecutive bottom deals until Susan calls stop. Once again, I put this card here, and it looks like a second random playing card from a completely mixed-up deck of playing cards. Again, consecutive bottoms, she calls stop. I put the playing card here, and once again, one last time she calls stop, and I put the cards down here. And now we have to draw attention away from the deck to the playing cards. You could have called stop 4 times at any position in the deck, any position whatsoever, and you agree that I dealt those playing cards very fairly from the top. And that is the beauty of this idea of Perfect Aces, a perfect one. You're taking the playing cards that they call stopper from the very position. There's nothing deceptive happening because the deception happens in between those moments. Invite Susan to turn these cards over. She's going to find 1 ace, 2 ace, 3 ace, 4 ace. But what a killer ending when you can turn this deck over and spread it out to show all King of Diamonds, all the one-way deck. Beautiful ending, very magical ending, Charlie. I agree, not something that I would probably keep in my repertoire, but an idea with a one-way deck nonetheless. I'm Daniel Madison, thanks for your time. See ya next time.